Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TruuuTalk Podcast. This is episode 15, and tonight we're going to be talking about Tommy Robinson, Wiley being cancelled, and religion and spirituality. Now, as always, we are joined by the First Lady of TruuuTalk, that's Miss Chitty. Miss Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang. Mr. TruuuTalk himself. Sorry, no, let me start again. I completely messed that one up. Messed that one up completely. And so I was thinking about waffling for Ashley, innit?
Bro, you've done this like 15 times now.
I know, bro. I know. But I was thinking I need to waffle for Ashley.
Just write it down and put it on your
No, it's even worse. If I write it down, forget it, it's going to go out the window. Wait, is it even streaming anyway?
If you were smart, it would be pre-recorded. You just hit play and it will talk. Do you get it? But
yeah, but it's different topics though, isn't it?
Or anything like that. So
but it's different topics each week though.
I think I'm ready to jump out the window.
Yeah, you and me both. Second time lucky, yeah? All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the TruuuTalk Podcast. This is episode 15. And tonight we'll be talking about Tommy Robinson, Wiley being cancelled, and religion and spirituality. Now, as always, we are joined by the TruuuTalk First Lady, Miss Chitty. Miss Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang.
Do my pose again.
A man who needs no introduction, Mr. TruuuTalk himself, Mr. Ashley. We're also joined by a young lady who says she doesn't mind a picture from a man as long as you get the good angles. That's Miss Milan. Our favourite girl from the small islands, that's Miss Cher. So do the bowl, Cher. Do it again. Like last week, do it again. And of course, myself, DJ Sticky Fingers. That said, topics we're talking about this week, we're going to talk about Tommy Robinson fleeing the UK. For those who don't know, Tommy Robinson has now fled the UK. We've been talking about Wiley being cancelled, because there's a lot of in the press this week of him being cancelled and trending. And so we're going to be talking about religion and spirituality. Now, our very own TruuuTalk himself, Mr. Ashley, will be kicking us off with Tommy Robinson. He's going to start any minute now. And whilst I'm waffling and waiting for him to start, I think I need to make sure we go over to our correspondent on that popular culture, Cher in Milan. Anything you want to tell us about what's happening in popular culture? What's happening on Instagram Live? What's happening in the world of like celebrities?
I don't really know, to be honest, apart from Wiley.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's topic
Kim
number 2.
Kardashian and Kanye had a chat in the car. She was crying.
I Sticks. That was a struggling waffle, brother.
It really was. I thought he was going to be faster than that. He took me 30 seconds.
Why were you so nervous, brother? Why was you so nervous?
Because I was thinking, where is this guy?
We discussed this. I told you it was going to happen, my guy.
I thought he was going to be faster than that. I thought he was going to be no time now. He's going to be ready.
Hey, listen, you just make sure you get on your other device and do the sending, yeah? Because that waffling was terrible. So I have to come back. You have to shorten it, man. But let me get started. Obviously, I saw recently on the news that well, not even on the news. I saw it on Instagram. My man made a video talking about he don't feel safe, so he's gonna flee the country and take his family away and obviously for me there's bare different layers to this. It's funny when he's putting other people's life in danger, he doesn't think about how their families are not safe, and it's because of the people that he's fueling and because of the kind of thing that he's trying to promote. He doesn't care about that. And it's so ironic that he's actually gonna go and live in another country when his whole speech, his whole philosophy is based on immigrants coming to this country and basically not taking on the culture and trying to be their own culture while they're in this country. I'm sure he's not going to go to Spain and learn Spanish. You get me? I'm sure he's going to go there and be the same Tommy Robinson with his family, talking English, the same thing. So I just think it's funny how he's been doing this for all this time, promoting what he's been promoting for all this time, and then ironically he's trying to flee the country now. Yeah.
Milan, what's your views on that one? I see you nodding away as well. What's your views on Tommy Robinson?
So when I watched the video of him saying you know, he's had to leave the country because his wife or his ex-wife's whatever house had got burnt down. Literally, the only thing I took from it is in amongst what he was saying, he like quickly mumbled in, it wasn't a Muslim. But I know who did it. But it's like, quickly put that in and then carried on with like, oh, I know who did it. And I'm like, I don't know. He just lives in his own bubble, in his own world. And it's like Ashley said, what he stands for and what he promotes, he's now contradicting himself because he's going to go to another country and literally do the exact same thing. And obviously in Spain, there are parts of Spain which a load of British people live with like expats and stuff, but he's not even going to attempt to learn Spanish. He's not going to attempt to, you know, try and, I don't know, taste the food or whatever. He's just going to live his normal life out there because of who he is and he thinks that he can. Do you know? Well, obviously he can, but it's just ironic to see him flee and be scared and not want to be where he lives, when that's why a lot of people who are in England are leaving their countries. Do you know what I mean? It's just a very ironic situation.
Chids, what are you thinking on this one?
Gunshot for Tommy. Whatever his name is. I just, like, yeah, it's mad. The man's gone, isn't it? Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's what it is, isn't it? Fuck it, what can we do?
I just want to double check. You said gunshot for Tommy, yeah? So I make sure that I got that right, yeah?
Gunshot for Tommy. Like, it's gone, innit? Like, obviously. I don't know really what can be said on it, really.
Share what you think. What's your views on this one?
I just think it's a flipping cheek that he, you know, claims that he hates foreigners and all this, whatever, but he's going to a foreign country and living there. Like, how dumb can you get? Like, excuse my French, but to me, that's the definition of a pussy hole. Like, going to another country, a foreign country where he said he hates foreigners.
Makes no sense.
Nah. There's something wrong with him.
Do you know what? I think Milan said a good point. You know, Milan said he's going to go in and be an expat, right? So have you noticed that a lot of British people, when they go to places like Spain, especially, or Portugal, or those sort of places, they always class themselves as expats. But when people from other countries come over here, they class them as what? Immigrants, right?
Immigrant.
And what's the difference between an expat and an immigrant?
Expats welcome.
Well, no, well, yeah, I suppose so, isn't it? But there's sweet fuck all difference, isn't it? It's just what British people like to say when they go into Spain, isn't it? I'm going to be an expat. But if someone from, I don't know, anywhere around the world comes to England, it's like, oh, they're a refugee or they're an immigrant. Do you know what I mean? Forget refugee, they're an immigrant. So it's like, it's that weird culture, that weird mentality. But as Cher said, he is a pussy hole, really, to be fair. Let's just call it what it is. Call a spade, isn't it? He is a pussy hole. And it's mad. It's the definition of irony, isn't it? I'm gonna talk about foreigners and then go and be one. Like, I don't get it. It's beyond. He's a dick anyway. So,
but you know what it is, yeah. What I kind of clocked, because obviously he's been attacking. His main targets have been like immigrants, yeah. So people that have like first generation. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's been like targeting them for years. As soon as his target was some third generation black people, the game changed. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the game changes, bro. Because you're not threatening or going against people that don't have generations of cousins. Like, there's bare of us, bro. Like, there's no way you're gonna talk about attacking black people so casually and so normal, like, and then not fear for your life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and that's what I think he's realised. Like, he tried to attack a race of people that You can't. There's too many of us here, fam. It's not like we're a small community where you can threaten us and we're gonna just like run and hide. You get what I'm saying? So I think he's clocked like how many black people really exist. Like you can't just say stuff like what you were saying and threaten like you're gonna go to the protest and mash up people and all of this kind of stuff, and then expect people to not give you the same kind of attack back. You get me? When he saw the force that was coming back at him, I think he just kind of like. I think that kind of shocked him, innit?
You know what's mad as well, yeah? A lot of these people who hate foreigners or hate black people, whatever you want to call it, or hate Muslims, like, these people, the same ones who help build your country. So it's just weird, like, these people have helped build your country, and you've got so much hate in your heart. It's just stupid, man.
I don't even know why people like him and others, actually him and Katie, because it wasn't coming to mind, first of all, have such a big platform.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how they have such a big platform. Like, I don't know how we're still entertaining these people. I really don't know. And I know it's going to fall naturally when we got onto Wiley, but again, they can talk shit for however long and nothing happens. But my thing is, I think it always depends on what group of people you're targeting, innit? If you're Tommy Robinson, you're targeting black people, well, nothing's going to happen to you. If you're Katie Hopkins targeting black people, nothing's going to happen to you. If you're targeting Muslim people, nothing's going to happen to you. But if you're a black man targeting Jewish people, so quick shit changes.
Different ball game, innit? There you go. That's because of, I guess if you look at it like this, Tommy Robinson wouldn't be able to necessarily come and do a speech in a black church. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it depends on what you own, innit? If you can, it depends on what we control. If we controlled more, then I think we would have more of a push or more of a say in what's going on. Like if ITV was owned by a black person, then maybe like Katie Hopkins wouldn't be invited onto the show to talk. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I guess it just depends on who owns the platform that the person's speaking on. Do you get me? I think that's why it makes such an impact. But I think that's why when people disrespect black people on certain platforms, it's not really seen because there's no one black of influence in that platform. Do you get what I mean?
It's white supremacy, isn't it?
Basically. In a nutshell.
That's really wise messages. Kaiser Soze, he says they should be called ex-twats, talking about the expats things we made earlier on. He also says Tommy has been funded by Israel from day dot, from attacking black people to Muslims to people's fleeing war-torn countries that his own government are bombing. Then on top of that, he goes to Spain. Black Wiley is the man. I respect him. He has been targeted because he's black. I have seen the comments he's made, said by many before. They still have their accounts. So yeah, God bless Wiley. We're going to touch on the Wiley in a little bit. But yeah, I think you're right there. There is no ownership. And I think as Cher said, I've actually forgot what Cher said. She said it's white supremacy, right? Was the correct term? And I think that's, and I think it's correct. I think someone was asking me the other day in terms of like systematic racism, innit? They didn't really get it. And I heard someone else use a good example. And I thought it's a good example on a basic level, right? They said systematic racism is like people being right-handed. So if those of you are right-handed, things that are made for you are made for right-handed people. So like your notepad is made for right-handed people. A pair of scissors is made for right-handed people. A car is made for right-handed people, innit? But if you're left-handed, if you're right-handed, you won't really think about it. You won't think a pair of scissors is made for right-handed people. But if you're left-handed, you have to go and get left-handed scissors. Yeah, I mean, you have to write differently in your book because you're left-handed. And that systematic racism is people being right-handed. They're just so used to it. It's just embedded. It's their God-given right to be that way. Whereas left-handed people are more aware of it because they're the one that's, in this case, oppressed, isn't it? Because they have to go and get a left-handed car, have to go and get a left-handed pair of scissors. Again, have to write crookedly because the book's made for right-handed people. Do you know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy. Cheers, what are you thinking over there? You're very quiet today.
You know what? I'm mad tired today. Really tired. I've never been tired on a live before, but I am a little bit drained. But yeah, I just think it's like when it comes to just when it just comes to fucking white people can do whatever they like, and they can say whatever they like. They're free. Like they've got that freedom. Anybody who's not white just doesn't have that freedom. That's why they just seem to get away with a lot of really bad stuff. And I just don't know. I just don't know. What can we do? What can we do? What can be done? How can it be changed? I don't know.
I was kind of having a conversation about that today. One of my cousins, he was talking about, I was basically saying, look, about righteousness, yeah? And what righteousness is basically, every time you see the devil, you have to identify it, and you have to spot it, you have to say it, yeah? And like, if you don't identify the devil every time you see it, that means you're not really righteous, innit? And that was a concept that obviously you're just thinking about, and that kind of correlates. It's like, what can we do? It feels like we can't do nothing, because it feels like if we do something, we'll be attacked, or we'll be oppressed, or we'll be starved almost, because this is what's happened. This is what they're trying to do. If you say something that's out of line, they're trying to starve you, you get me? But at the same time, it's like, this was a question I asked, I said, would you rather be rich or rather be righteous? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, my man was like, I'd rather be rich, innit? But, do you get me? That's neither here nor there. But I'm saying, some people would rather be righteous than be rich, innit? And that's just the chance that you have to take, innit? If you wanna fight against it, kind of thing. So I feel like something can be done, but it's just like you have to be willing to lose it all if you want to do it, innit?
So Milan, what's your views? What can we do? How can we make a change?
How can we make a change? Well, not jumping on a bandwagon, because come on, a couple of weeks ago we've done the protest in London for the black people. What's changed? What's happened? Are we still talking about it? Are we still posting the Black Square on a Tuesday or whatever it was? Are we still this stupid pound day? Why not just buy black people shit every day? I don't understand why there's now a pound day. I don't get what that is. Like I said before, if you want to change something, there needs to be something you can change, not a mindset. So it's not changing the mindset, it's changing the way the world works. It's changing who is in power in certain places and getting people of ethnicity into those type of places. And I don't mean like at the bottom, because people will be like, oh, you know, there's black MPs and, you know, there's black people in parliament, compared to how many like white people there are. There's like one black man. Do you know what I mean? So
I
getting people there.
I do see what you're saying. Well, you know what? I think like this whole thing, yeah, you might think it's done nothing, yeah, but it's made people see it who probably wouldn't see it. Obviously, for us, it's nothing, innit? Because nothing's changed for us, innit? At the end of the day, we always knew this was going on, innit? The only difference is that you guys know now. Do you know what I'm saying? But now it depends on how it affects the people that didn't know it was like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not that it definitely will, it might not, innit? Maybe in 10 years' time, nothing will be different. But I don't believe so. I don't think that our generation is going to let things continue how they've been. I don't think so. Because I feel like we've been here for too long. Like, it's not like like I was saying about we're like third generation. Like our grandparents, like our kids, their grandparents were born in England. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's different. You get me? They're British for real. Like, our kids, they're going to be like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they can treat us like we haven't been here, like we're not part of the society. You know what I'm saying? Once we, I feel like I don't think it's going to be perfect. I feel like we're always going to have to make our noise and stand up for and make our voice heard. Do you get me? But I do feel like people are going to start hearing it. I do feel like people are going to start hearing it.
I just think it's about changing ourselves. We just need to change ourselves. And it goes back again saying it's ego. The world is so ego driven. And it's like, the whole Black Lives Matter movement and everything, it was a big hype and then everything dies down and then they move on and then things got forgotten and then something else comes up. It's about just changing yourself as a person and being consistent in your beliefs of what you actually stand for. If everyone was consistent and everyone worked on a soul level rather than an ego thing, then things would change a lot quicker. But unfortunately, human beings don't get that. That's why the world is in the state that it's in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's about building our own and supporting our own as well. Like that needs to happen a lot more. And when it comes to the Black Pound Day thing as well, I do see how that can help because a lot of people don't know any Black businesses at all and they're Black. You know what I mean? So it's easier for them to find Black businesses. It's easier for them to, buy from Black people. And that might encourage them to buy from Black businesses more often rather than it just being a one-off or not at all, or going to Asda. They might go to a Black supermarket instead, you know what I mean? So I do see how that can help. It's all about small steps because that can lead to something bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to highlight it, or like a good way to just make people aware that there is bare Black businesses out there. You get me? Like, obviously, I get that. I get what you're saying. Like, people should be able to support every day. But I think if there was like a conscious decision to do it, people wouldn't necessarily even think about it. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't know that it's important to support. You know what I mean? So I do think I get the concept behind it. You know what I mean?
I think it's just about unlearning to relearn again, because it's like, as a people, we shouldn't have to be told to go and buy from our own people. We shouldn't have to be told to support our own people. We should want to do that because of our history. Our history itself is enough. It gives enough probable cause to actually go and do what you do, or what you should, on a soul level, what you should do. But again, it's ego. I've had like conversations with other Black people, and I'm not buying from it. I'm not buying their shit, or I'm not buying from him. I'm not supporting this thing. Like it starts with us. It starts with ourselves, and that's what a lot of people need to learn. So it's definitely about unlearning to relearn. I think everyone needs a reset. Like, especially within the Black community, definitely there needs to be a big reset, because I don't know, it's just mad. It's mad, because no matter what, in other races, you've got like the Asians support the Asians. They ain't gonna buy from no one else if they ain't Asians, really. And the Indians stick together. Everyone sticks together. Black people don't. It takes bad things to happen, and protests and mad gatherings over absolute fuckery in the world for Black people to actually come together and move together, because Black people have been selling off Black people from the beginning of time. Do you get me? Because they've given into that slave mentality. And I think if we as a people can let go of that, then our culture, our race, everything, businesses, our children, our future, it'll be a lot brighter, isn't it? But unfortunately, people are moving off the mentality of a hype. That's why you have to always make sure everything you're doing is coming from your heart, and not just because it's a hype. Because hypes die down. Look at the Black Lives Matter. Everyone was on hype for about a week, and then the week after, everything was fucking quiet, and everyone's back posting their bullshit. Do you get me? It's not. There's no consistency within the support in the Black community. Black people don't support Black people. Facts. Sorry, it is.
Do you know what? I agree with everything you guys were saying there, actually. One of the things I was going to say, though, in terms of Black Pound Day, rather, one of the things I like about it is that it's only about you guys. So I'm pushing 40 now. Yeah, pushing. And for as long as I can remember, I've always had family members say, oh, do you know what we should do? We should go back to Africa. Oh, you know what you should do? You should go back to Africa. You know what you should do? You should go back to Africa. You should do? You should go back to Jamaica. And I've not seen not one of those people for all my years move. Not one of them. No one's done anything. But Black Pound Day is action. It's an actual action. It's tangible action. And although we might know some black businesses, there'll be some black businesses on there that we don't know about. So yes, we might know about our local Caribbean shop, but do you know of any black photographers? Do you know any black cake makers? Do you know any black dressmakers? Do you know any black tailors? Do you know any black, I don't know, designers? Do you see what I mean? So I think it brings awareness. Yes, it's only one day a month, but that's one more day a month that particular black business is being recognised, and that's empowerment in itself. So that's why I'm an advocate of Black Pound Day. I think it's action. It's doing something, not just saying, oh, you know what we should do? We should go back to Africa.
That's what I mean. It's not just talk. It's actually the mindset behind it is amazing, because it's obviously making a difference and it's going to make a change and everything. It's one of the only positives, like, away from all the protesting, all that shit. It's the only thing that's going to remain, if hopefully consistent. It's showing consistency, because obviously that is a movement that's been built on a soul level. Do you get me? It hasn't come from a place of ego. It's taken a person to actually sit there and think, hang on a minute, we're talking and talking and talking and nothing is getting done. We could scream from the rooftops like every single day, support black businesses, support your people, do this, do that. But it just takes one person. Black Pound Day is evidence that it takes just one person to actually think on a soul level and say, do you know what? Why not just create one day a month where it creates consistency? It's a ripple effect, isn't it? Once you put it out there, and it'll just flow and it'll be continuous. So it's definitely something that's, I agree with it. I think it's amazing. It's actually really a good thing.
I mean, Milan, I know you weren't fond of Black Pound Day. Do you feel any differently now?
Since it started, I've not bought anything from a black business. Like, you know, people are going to be like, oh, but you're black too, and oh, you should support. Well, if I wanted something from something, then I'd buy it. But I don't, like, I don't get it. I just don't. I get it. I get the bigger picture, and I get that and you know, it may be helping some like businesses, and it's helping get their like name out, and it's word of mouth, and oh, did you hear that so and so is doing this, and blah blah blah, and she bought this from da da da. Like, out of what, there's like 5 of us here, like, I mean, in the podcast, like, who's bought anything since this Pound Day thing started or whatever it is? Who's bought something?
I have, but you know what? Me too. I get where you're coming from. I have, but I did that anyway. Do you get me? And I didn't need a day to tell me that I had to go and buy from a black business. With me, my soul just says, yo, like, I can see my sister or my brother doing something, and I actually want something from there, so I'm gonna buy it, innit? Like, it's like, but not everyone thinks the same. So I get the mindset behind it, but I do also as well see where you're coming from, Milan. Like, if you don't want something, then why should you really go and buy it? It's freedom of choice, isn't it? Really, if you want something, you're just looking at it in a way, it's like, you're not just going to go and necessarily buy that from that person just because they're black and just because you're black. That's fake. It's fake as fuck when you do it like that. If you're doing it because you genuinely want to buy that thing, then with that comes the support, and you're actually supporting that business. So those people who are just on a hype thing, going and buying their things from their black businesses and posting it on their Snapchat and their fucking stories and all that, they're just dickheads, isn't it? Dickheads for doing that. But if it's coming from a good place and your heart is clean with it, then go through, innit? It does raise more awareness, because you might see a business and think, I didn't even know that existed, so I'll buy from them because I actually want that product. But to just go and buy it just because you're black and the other person's black, that don't make no sense. Because there's always going to be bad mind behind it, isn't it? There's always going to be bad mind behind it, because you're gonna begrudge that in your heart somewhere. Whereas if you actually want that thing, just go buy it, innit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole point behind it is to boost the black economy as a whole. So, you know, where a lot of black people are not happy about white supremacy, it's going to make us level up a lot more. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the main purpose behind it, which I think is really good. But I've always bought from Black businesses anyway. I guess it's made me promote more businesses and, you know, look into other businesses as well. But I've always supported Black businesses, so it's not really.
Because
it's not really that much different, but I think it's good for people who don't support Black businesses and they genuinely want to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's good. You can encourage
Small island people know. We know, innit, shit? As small island people, we were brought up properly.
Don't know.
I won't even start on you small island people. Kaiser Soul says, yes, Chidi, well said. DJ Empress gives you some clapping hands. Check you out, Chids.
Right, darling.
But do you know what? I agree with what you ladies are saying, because even myself, I'm an advocate of Black Pound Day. I will post it on my Instagram and what have you. But it doesn't mean I'll necessarily buy something on that specific day, purely for the fact that I support Black businesses anyway. I make a point of doing, not I make a point of doing so, but if I'm going to go to a bakery, I'm going to go to the Black bakery because they got what I want. If I'm going to buy a plantain, I go to Mr. Patel's shop, but there's a guy that's a Nigerian man that's 10 shops down. I'm more likely to go to his shop to get it because I am. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think Ashley made a good point as well in terms of other people who may not know about those shops and things like that and who want to support. So I think even when the first Black Pound Day came on, someone was asking me, what is it about? You know, and I was like, it's about supporting Black businesses, and they wanted to be on board. So it's good in that sense because it's not only just that Black person who supports that particular shop. Now some non-Black people who may not have known about the shop are now supporting it as well. So how can it be a bad thing? Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's always going to be a positive. It's action. That's what I love about it. It's action.
Mm-hmm. And it's done by
this is the thing. I wasn't saying it's a bad thing.
Big up himself.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it's a bad thing. I just don't get it personally because it's a day, like, just buy from them anyway and then it is what it is. But you see with Black people as well, like one of my friends who's white, she has a she opened like a salon and she does like eyelashes and like nails and tanning and stuff like that. And she went out and literally just followed like fuckloads of people on Instagram. Like just followed just random people that she followed people that she knew, but she just went and followed bare random people, like not looking at their profiles, but just adding girls, guys, whoever. So now they're like, oh, like who's this person who's like following me? And obviously when she's posting the stuff, it's coming up, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. For some reason, and I'm not saying all Black people are like this, but I don't know if it's like a pride thing, but no one don't want to like follow no one else. If you want to promote like your business, why are you waiting for one day a month to promote your shit? Why not go and just follow bare people, or I don't know, get posters and stick it on a bus stop? Like help like you. It starts at home, innit? Like help yourself, and then everyone else around you will help, and then it will spread out and it will spread out. Don't just I'm gonna sit back here and everybody else will promote me because I am me. Like who the fuck are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I get Black Pound Day and I get the meaning behind it, and I think yes, that's very good. But the mindset in Black people is just disgusting. And you know when you're just like, but who are you? Like you're no better than nobody else. Just like yeah. Anyway, Black people don't know me.
Nah, I get you. Trust me. No, I'm with you. 100%, I'm with you. All the way. It's dead.
I think the point is like, there's a lot of businesses out there. So with Black businesses, they need to really push because there's a whole different level of white businesses out there. So the whole point is to push their business and, you know, make sure that it goes a certain way. But even with followers, that might not be the same effect as you said, your white friend. It might not be the same effect for a Black person because of the audience, or I don't know, whatever else. They might support a white business. So I think that's the sole purpose behind Black Pound Day. It makes sense to me anyway.
Do you know what?
It's down to the mindset and the mentality of Black people, though. Realistically, when let's not dress it up. It's exactly what it is, because black people think differently, man, and they do. We can't say they don't. They
but me knowing black businesses as well, like there are black businesses out there who are not like that, so I think it's unfair on them, like us putting them down when there's a whole different set of white businesses out there. And these are the things that black people are complaining about. Hang on, sorry, I'm finished. And these are the things that black people are complaining about. White supremacy, but white businesses and black businesses, and then it's all about supporting people.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about the black businesses. I was talking about like the black audience and the customers, people like that. There's many black businesses out there, but I'm just saying there's black people who won't buy from black people. Do you get me? So there's still going to be a thing, even with Black Pound Day. Black businesses are going to be promoted, but there's still going to be a large majority of black people who are going to look at it and think, I ain't buying from them just because they're black, or just because that mindset is still out there because of ego.
But don't you think this has helped them type of people a bit? Because I found like a lot of people who didn't really buy from black businesses are now buying from them consistently. So it is making a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
But then obviously there's other people who just won't buy. So
yeah, but that's where it just comes down to learning to relearn, and I think that's what Black Pound Day is doing. It is causing that ripple effect where people are they're learning now and they're thinking, like I actually do need to support. They've got the things that I want or the things that I need, so I do need to support like local black businesses or small black businesses or whatever business it is, as long as it's black. Do you get me?
You know what it's all about doing in a positive way, or because you see, like what you're saying, Chits, is that we got a mentality where we're like, I'm not begging. It's not even the fact where it's a support. I'm not looking at it as support. And I'm saying, I don't know, man. I'm not begging it. I'm not posting, man. I'm not talking about, man. I'm not talking to man. I'm not going to tell man I like him. I'm not going to tell man I like him. I'm not going to tell man I rate his food. Like, like man just got that mentality where it's like, I'm not going to go big man. I'm not doing that. I'm not a beg. That's what it is. It's that mentality. I'm not a beg mentality where you don't want to give man his props. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's not really so much of, I don't want to support. It's just that man got so much ego. Like you're saying, ego or pride, depending on how you want to box it up, innit? And then got too much ego and pride to be like, I rate you. Do you get me? I don't want to give people that. You get what I'm saying? So I think that
then have that same energy.
What the Pound Day does, it gets rid of that barrier. It gets rid of that initial, I'm begging it, because it gives you a reason to do it. I'm doing it, I'm not begging it, but I'm just pounding. You get me? So I kind of.
But then it should have the same. It should have the same energy for white businesses as well, isn't it? If that's the case.
What do you mean?
If they think they're begging it with black businesses, have the same energy. Businesses.
No, it's not the same though, because the white even I'm talking about from a perspective of black to black, because we know within ourselves, even if maybe not now, because how we are and how we've kind of like started behaving, but there was a time where even if someone came up to you and was like, bro, like, I like your hair and or whatever, they cut your feet. When they walk off, you think imagine like, I don't know why they just. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people are afraid of. People are like, I'm not gonna come and beg it, so you can tell me I begged it. Do you get me? That's what it is. You get me? It's not just like, because you go to a whitey and say, raw fam, the way you just did that trick on the skateboard, that was sick, fam. He's gonna be like, thank you. He's not gonna come and be like, right, you begged it, man. He was on my dick, man. He was saying that my shit was sick, man. He's not gonna do that, because that's not the mentality. And that's why man are afraid. Because man are thinking, well, if I come and big you up, you're gonna use that to put me down later on.
That's where I was coming from. That's the angle. So maybe support was the wrong word that I used, but that's the angle I was coming from.
Because it's a real mentality, isn't it? It's a real mentality, but
it's real.
You know what I mean?
But I'll give you some messages.
Feeling mentality, though.
DJ Empress says, ouch. I think she's referring to Chili's comment to share. DJ Empress, don't worry, they're actual real life cousins, so it's all good. You can take the piss out of them, it's fine. She also says some black people say their price is too high, they ain't supporting them. I also want to touch on Milan's point, actually. I think Milan made a good point, I think, which was opposite side to what Chidi's saying. So where Chidi and I think actually talking about from the customer perspective, I think Milan was talking about from the business side of things in terms of how black businesses run the business, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's a good point. That's a common thing I've heard over the years, especially when it comes to food shops. In fact, food shops and hair shops, that's probably in my eyes, the main two shops that we might attend that's black owned, right? And a common thing or common theme is how it's run. So either they don't turn up on time, or the customer service, or you go there and say, what, you know, this the way they talk to you in terms of, you go into one shop, they might say, oh, what would you like? So you go into Mr. Patel's shop, Mr. Patel will call you boss man. Hello, boss man, you okay, boss man? You go into a Caribbean shop, depending on, you know, where they're from and what have you, you might hear, or you aren't. Do you know what I mean? And I think Milan made a good point in terms of the opposite side of it, in terms of how to run the business. Like she said, her friend was out there putting herself out, doing Instagram stuff, whereas sometimes we don't do enough of those things. So I think that's such a good point. It's good to see both sides of the coin. Am I right in saying that, Milan? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, like, this is what I mean. So she was adding, like, every race, colour, gender, do you know, the girl who's white, I mean, who's got the salon, because she has just opened a salon. She's paid how much money for the rent in this place, and then the stuff that's in it. She needs customers. She needs people to be in there. And it's not that she's begging these people to come in, but in the world that we live in at the moment, everything is on social media. Do you know what I mean? There's no other way around it. That we are living in a world where like social media is key. It's number one. It will get you places. Even if you sit there and you're a person like, oh, I hate social media and da-da-da-da, and I don't know why this girl's posting that and this boy's posting that. It gets heard of and it gets like spoke about. Do you know what I mean? You need to be in the DMs of the right people. Yes, it might be licking arse or whatever, but if you want to get yourself somewhere, you've got to do it. And a black person would just be like, nope, ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. And then it's like what Vicky said. Then that's coming from like that's like the management of a business. Then you go to the people who are in the stores, or the people who are, if you've ordered something there on like a delivery, you go in a food shop, half the time they're all at the back. So you've come in and you're just standing there like, hello? And you get told, hold on a minute. What do you mean? I want my food and I want it now. I've come in your shop to buy it. And hold on. Then you're waiting. You come out. You've got your stuff. You know, half the time they even don't have it. Like, how can you just open and you don't have your food? Like, what do you mean? You've got a menu outside on a chalkboard saying, oh, these are today's things, but you don't have it. We don't have it. It's gone. Gone where? You just opened and your shop is not busy. Facts. Okay, cool. So then it's the attitude. Well, then you pick something up off the shelf, you ask them how much it is. What, that one? It's like, no shit, Sherlock. Yes, this one. How much is this?
You're talking.
And instead of scanning it, they'll go, oh, I need to find out. And they walk out back again. And you're like, all right, cool. Think of a hair shop. You go to like Rush. Why are you not laughing? It's true. It's true facts. Trust me. If you go into Rush, you have your booked appointment at say 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, you're out. And I mean 12 o'clock lunchtime. You go in there 10 a.m. You'll be coming out at lunchtime with your hair coloured, curled, flip, whatever. Go to a black hair shop just to get your hair washed. They sit you in the chair. They put your head under the water. Then they start doing someone else's hair. You're like, oh, but now you can't leave the shop because your hair's wet. And you're in the thing like this. So you're just there with your neck back and you're like, oh, okay. They started sewing on the weave of someone else. So then you're like, you're missing. You're going to, oh, yeah. They come and put in the shampoo. They washed it off. They put the conditioner on, a bag on your head, and you're sitting underneath the dryer. Now they're having lunch. You're eating prawns with the same fingers they could be touching my hand with my hair with. And you're sitting there like...
And then they pick
really? And this is how black businesses work. And then they wonder why that no one goes there, or they just get the same customers because they have no time to book no one else in. Like,
They're picking up.
Is it just me? Maybe I'm wrong in it. Maybe I'm just in my own little bubble, the same as Tommy Bloody Robinson. Not his bubble. I mean, I'm in my own bubble. And I'm just floating around, and I just think the world is painted with rainbows and unicorns, and you know.
Nah.
Let me read some of his messages. DJ Empress says, yes, Sticky, clapping hands. Sexy Mama Chanel P says, professionalism, that's what a lot of black-owned businesses need. Also laughing at Miss Milan. Of course, Miss Milan was talking pure facts there. Facts on facts there. Should you share experiences with that one?
I got nothing to say, man. I'm done.
What are you saying, Ash? How many times you gone to the barbers and like been there all day?
I just thought that was normal. I didn't even think that was back up. So, you know, we just make the best of it. You know like that? We just be in there chatting bare shit, talking about all kind of stuff. You know like that?
You see, you don't need no pay.
You know what the barber man does? I'll go get some rum, fam. You might go get some rum and that, get some cups and that. But you in there, man, having a party in there, and that's still walk out, no shrimp.
That's what I mean.
Man forgot, man went to the barber shop to get a trim.
It's like we laugh, but this is what, there's a lot of stuff. This is why I say it starts with ourselves. With black people lack a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, and that's why we don't progress. And it's
man go to the barber shop to play Ludi. It's mad like that.
But do you know what? I'm going to come to the defense of black-owned businesses. I'll tell you why, right? In the defense of black-owned businesses, there's not enough generations of business owners ahead of us to learn from. Do you think our grandparents only came here in the 60s? That's not a long time. You know what I mean? That's what, 60?
It's a mindset, though, because you should want to change that pattern. Why not break the cycle?
I don't. Do you think what he's saying is valid? You know how you want to be treated, Chids. You know when you go to a restaurant how you want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
You don't need your grandma to have owned a restaurant for you to know how to do that.
Exactly.
Like, that's just you get me. That's neither here nor there, man. You know what it is? We got this thing here where we want to support. But what we got to clock is some people are good at some things. Everyone ain't good at everything. Yeah? Like, get people that can do the job to do the job. Get people that are good at the role to play the role, innit? Don't, people just want to put anyone in any position, man. Like, it can't work. You get me? Like, if you want someone to be a manager, get someone with some management skills. You understand what I'm saying? If you want someone to be a chef, get someone that's been cooking in the kitchen and running it for a couple of years. Don't get your auntie who's a good cook, fam, because that's not how the chef thing works. Not just because your auntie can cook, she can be a chef. Do you understand? Like, because chefs know how to cook for large groups of people or have food out for a certain time. It's experience that people need to do certain things. Because sometimes I feel like when we got businesses, we're trying to hire our brethren, you get me? Like, can't work like that, fam. You have to hire people that can actually do the role. And when you got the right people in the right positions, shit will work nicely, you get me?
Well, what's the saying? The saying is, just because you can bake a cake doesn't mean you can run a bakery.
That's it.
Which is very true. But the reason why I said about, and I agree with your point, actually, I do agree with your point. But even I said about not being here that long, again, compared to our counterparts, we haven't been here that long. And it's all about, I know we're going to try and break the cycle. Yes, that's our generation's going to break the cycle. But generations before us were trying to make the blueprint in some sense. They didn't have no one to try and learn off. They were trying to learn from each other. So if you look at like the Asian community, you would find that they would open one news agent and then halfway down the road they'd open another news agent. But they already had that imprint, whereas we're still trying to learn and figure it out and try to be on par. Yes, there's a lot more we should be able to do. And as you are right, if someone's good at cooking, have them in the kitchen doing the cooking.
No.
Have someone out front. No, have someone out front. No, in the sense that if that's the chef stays at the back.
That's what I'm saying, but that's not what...
But I'm saying though, at the front of your store, you have people who are trained or good at speaking to people at the front. Because as I said, when I go into a shop, I go to a food shop all the time. Especially if I'm out DJing or stuff like that, I'm always in the food shop. I can tell you, most food shops in South, Yeah, and there's plenty I've been to, and I think to myself, I don't want to come back here, you know. Because by the way, the person's talking to me, that the food might be good. Like I went to a food shop. There's the one in Croydon, yeah. To everyone where I live now. We went to one in Croydon, right? And I went in there, and the way the woman talked to the guy.
You have to live there, though. You know that.
Exactly, well, it's true, but I don't even live in Croydon. Yeah, I went to one in Croydon. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Share. Yeah. See our postcode. Yeah. I went to Milan. Got that one. I went to the shop, and the way the woman talked to the man, I thought to myself, I'm never coming back to the shop again. You know what I mean? But she shouldn't be there. Like I couldn't. If it was my shop, I'd have fired her because you're making my business look bad. And I think we have to take that mentality where this is our business. We want to have our business grow and expand, put people in the right places, hire the right people, spend it a little extra, and get the right people.
And train people if they, you know what I'm saying? Like, spend money, train people, you know what I'm saying?
Don't tell me
education actually works.
what you want. No, what you want. You know what I mean? No. Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Hi. That works. Just hello. Just a simple greeting. Hello. How are you? It goes a long way, innit? It's not much, innit? I'm fine, thanks. How you doing? Yeah, I'm cool. It's simple things, innit? It's not rocket science. It's not difficult. Yeah, I went into a shop the other day. The woman was playing the music loud. I went into the shop. I was waiting for long. I was just sitting there thinking to myself, right, why am I in the shop waiting for so long? The woman come out like, she didn't even say sorry. If she just said, oh, sorry, I didn't hear you come in, it would have been calm, innit? But she looked at me to say, like, one, what you doing here? And two, why don't you shout louder? Right? Why am I shouting over your loud-ass music? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take much. It's really simple. It's really simple things. You know, before I get too annoyed on this one, I'm going to calm down a bit.
No, I know it's emotional. It gets emotional still.
Yeah, bro, because you know what it is? I want to see my people do well. And I say that I don't mix my words on that one. I want to see my people do well. Other people in other races are doing well. I want to see my people do well and do better than they are. So it annoys me when I see them have a good product, but spoil it with this shit. Like, you got a good product. I like your food. Like, just do that a little bit extra and everyone else would see how good it is. And I want to see you succeed. And when you're starting this nonsense, I think to myself, what am I spending money here for? If I go Morley's, the man will be like, hello, boss man, how you doing? Wings and chips, $1.99. You know what I mean?
It's true, man. I went to a food shop the other day with I can't remember, I was with my cousin. I went into the shop. I stood in the shop. I was in there for probably about 5 minutes before, and no one said nothing to me. It's like, come you cut, bro. Like, what this? You get me? I'll go get kebab, fam. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is a joke. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, how come you be standing in the shop for you know what I'm saying, 5 minutes and no one even said nothing? You get me? That's crazy, fam.
I think as well, like, there are good black businesses out there, so we have to look for them as well. Because, like, the businesses that I buy from are ones that have good customer service. Like, I only deal with good customer service, so I don't want bad customer service. But yeah, I feel like there's a reputation behind how black businesses customer service is, and I just think it's important to note that there is good customer service out there, because, you know, I've received a lot of it. So yeah, just thought I'd put in something positive.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important because I've definitely been to some good ones as well. There's a Bad Boy restaurant, Brixton Hill, yeah, in the grill. Yeah, they treat you like you're special. Yeah, you get me? But that's because they hire the right people for the right jobs. You feel me? They hire the right people to talk to you when you come in. They hire the right people to cook the food at the back, and they hire the right people to come to lift the food to the table. You feel me? So the whole experience is pleasurable. You feel me? It's a nice little experience. That's why I thought let me big them up. But yeah, bro. So you are right. There's definitely.
What's it called?
Places. It's called the Grill in Brixton Hill.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
The restaurant it's lit still, can't lie.
Sure, don't worry, I'll take you there, right? He said no comment, yeah? She's looked me in my face question. Are you playing hard to get? I'm with you. I'm cool with that. I like a challenge.
No, I don't play.
Ooh.
She's hard to get.
Lord God. Anyway, on that one, our second topic of the night, we're talking about Wiley and being cancelled. So for those of you who don't know, people are calling for Wiley to be cancelled over some tweets he said during the week. So I think he was number 1 or number 2 trending on Twitter. Since then, his Twitter account has been suspended, and so has his Instagram account has also been suspended. Milan, I'm going to hand over to you first. What's your views on that? Should Wiley be cancelled?
No. He should not be cancelled. If people like Katie fucking Hopkins can go around and post videos in a hijab saying, oh, I can't remember the girl's name, but the girl that, I don't know, anyway, she was coming back to England and she was like,
Shamima Begum. Shamima Begum, I think. Shamima Begum.
Yeah, I'm hurt and I'm coming. Like, she can do that. It is posted everywhere. Anyone knows about it, but that's okay. Wiley said some shit and his accounts need to be shut down. Why? This goes back to what we was talking about, I went on last week, the week before. Because he's talking the truth and people can't know about it. So what they have to shut his stuff down. They have to shut it down because if not, he'll just spill the beans. It has to be shut down. But why? Like I said, Kate Hopkins can do what she wants. She is the most fucking she's a walking contradiction. She was going on about people giving their kids names of places. Her daughter's names are of places. I'm not quite sure what they are, but I'm sure one of her kids is called India. And then she's got another couple, and their names are of places, but that's okay. But anybody else calling their kids names of places, oh no, people shouldn't do that, and I just think it's not right. And can someone just take the stick out of her ass, please, and shove it down her throat instead? Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. Wiley should not be cancelled. We should all be allowed to say what we want. As long as you're not offending people, and I don't think what he said was offensive. It was just putting it out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think you should. I think it's hard to say. You should be able to say what you want, unless if you're not offending people, because anyone can say they're offended about anything, and that's the problem. Can you say what you want, or can you not say what you want? Do you get me? Because there shouldn't be a balance, isn't it? Unless if you're saying hateful things that's gonna incite, if you're inciting violence, if you're saying let's go kill these people, yeah, let's go hurt these people, cool. You should not be able to say that, yeah. But you can't limit what someone's allowed to say, especially if it's truth, innit? Especially if it's their truth, they should be able to say it. If it's historical truth, they should be able to say it. If it's documented truth, they should be able to say it. Do you get what I'm saying? Some things will be offensive. Slavery is offensive, bro. The concept of it is offensive. We have to watch that, look at it, know about it, learn it, watch films about it. You get what I'm saying? Have the names of it, all of that. You get me? Watch the statues of it, all of that. Live in the legacy of it. Come on. Our countries are still colonized by it. That's offensive, bro. But we don't get to eliminate all of that just because it's offensive. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't get to wipe that out of history, wipe that out of people's minds, mouths, thoughts, because it's offensive. We don't get to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't think, of course, you shouldn't be cancelled. How can you cancel a man because he had an opinion or because he said something that you didn't like? Do you know what I'm saying? It just shows that what you're saying is true, that all the power is in one place because he said one thing and they're able to take him off everything. You know what I'm saying? Even for people to say that Palestine, that Israel's gone and invaded Palestine and taken over most of their country and killed a lot of their people and, you get me, and sucked the land, and you get me? Even to say that, people are going to be like, yeah, you can't say, why? How can I not say that? But I got people that I know from Palestine, girls that had to cut from the country, and they showed man what was going on, and they showed how soldiers were coming and killing off people's parents, families, everything. What am I? I'm not supposed to say that, but that's someone's truth, though. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, someone telling me, "Oh, my brother's dead." Yeah, I saw my brother get blown up. Like, for real. You get me? It's the truth. Like, what? I'm not supposed to say that because it's gonna be offensive. You see what I'm saying? So it's just bad mind. But boy, it's what it does show you is that, like, if you're gonna say something that's true and offensive, you better be able to, like, feed yourself, because they will starve your class. You get me? What they done to Wiley is just exactly what they done to Nick Cannon. And Wiley did it on purpose, just to show you how far the thing reaches. Like, don't think it's just like an American thing, fam. You can't say that shit here either. You get me? He said that shit here, and they did exactly the same thing. You get me? Like, they showed the man them like, right, we can be your friends, yeah, but if you talk about us in any offensive way, we'll show you how powerful we are and how much we control your cash flow. You get me? Because that's all it's about. You feel me? It's all just about money, innit? You get me? They only invested in the man them because the man them could make their money. You get me? So they're like, "Rah, do you think we can't just invest it?" And you know what was mad? What I didn't like, yeah? Obviously, it's just my opinion. But what I didn't like, yeah, because I saw it kind of early, was one rapper kind of jumped to the bandwagon and was kind of dissing him and was talking about, like, "Raw, like, we used to look up to you. Like, now you're kind of like, get me?" And you kind of told her, like, get off drugs and that. And for me, it was like, "Raw, why are you doing it at this time?" You get me? Even if you think that, why would you do that now at this time so they can use that in order to, like, discredit my man? Do you get me? I just think it's sad. I think it's sad that people can discredit someone so easily. Them man, they created a whole different way for the whole of, like, a whole generation to make money or to inspire to be something more than just being a roadie. Like, he inspired generations of people to make music and to strive for more, and we don't even respect him for that. Like, he's one of our heroes, and we're not even, like, giving him that credit. We've been calling him the godfather of grime for how many years, and now he needs people to stand behind him and be like, "Yeah, godfather, do your thing." Man, I'm like, boy, you get me? Like, that's one of our legends, fam. We can't just, like, act like, we can't just turn our back on man like that so easy. You feel me? I think it's bad, man. I think it's wicked, man.
Definitely agree. One of the messages from Rosie Posey says, facts. Rosie Posey also says, people love kick a dog when he is down. Share, what's your views on Wiley? Should he be cancelled? Do you agree with Ashley and Milan?
Boy, I better keep my voice down because he lives near me. But when it comes to Wiley, yeah, the thing that disturbs my soul is this guy, yeah, was moving to underage girls in their uniform. And, you know, that's why a lot of the people in grime don't speak to him, because he's about that life. But something like that can't be taken as, like, you know, something which is really bad and then he gets put off social media because of that. But when it's something like him talking about Jews, then that is a big issue. When other people are, you know, cussing out Black people online, cussing out Muslims online, a Black man's getting killed on online, you're seeing this all the time. And is that getting blocked? No, you're seeing that all over your timeline. But when it's something like that and, you know, a Black person wants to speak on it, it's a big issue. And boy, I just feel like we live in a weird world. We live in a very strange world. And the guy who Wiley worked with was Jewish as well, isn't it? And he must have got an award by the Queen, Wiley, but he doesn't even have that award himself. Like, the Jewish guy has it. So, I don't know, really and truly, it's just showing me the world even more for what it is. You already know anyway.
So for those who don't know, Shay made a few points in there. So Wiley was accused, I'm not sure if it was confirmed, that he
No,
dated...
there was proof.
Oh, excuse me. It was proof. I don't know the man personally, but he was dated another DJ's sister, I think it was. This was about 15 years ago. And she was, I think, 14 at the time. So he would have been in his 20s at least. And she was...
and on top of that as well, he was moving to underage girls in their uniform. Like, their family was coming to him and telling him, like, why are you moving to my sister and stuff.
Yeah, so I must admit I didn't know that part, but I do remember the stories about him apparently having, relations with with a minor at 14. So this was about 15, 20 years ago. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he got beaten up badly because of it as well back then. Again, this was before the Godfather title. And also, Cher made a point in regards to his MBE, is the award that Cher was talking about. So he did receive an MBE, and he was on Sky News recently during the week, and the reporter was saying, people are calling for your MBE to be removed, and he's like, well, take it. I don't even have it. And then it cut away to saying, oh, our team tried to get hold of the manager. The manager says he's got it packaged for Wiley, which, as Cher's saying, is a good point, because he's had the MBE for 2 years, but he still hasn't received the MBE. His former manager, who is, as Cher pointed out, is Jewish, currently has his award for him for 2 years. Chiz, what's your views? Wiley cancelled, not cancelled?
I don't think he should be cancelled for his tweets, because he's just speaking his truth in it and what he believes in. He was just speaking facts, really. But it's just that, the powers that be will cancel somebody over something like that, for words, for an opinion, for speaking a truth. But then there's so much more devilish things going on out there, and nothing happens, just gets swept under the carpet. It's in our faces every single day, but yet they will blow things up over something. So, because it's trivial, isn't it, what he's done, really? It's so trivial. But then you've got the likes of Kate, I can't even say her name, she makes me feel sick, but you've got the likes of that woman doing the maddest shit, and she's cool, innit? Like, she's protected. It's all down to this, it boils down to, it's freedom. There's different levels of freedom, innit? You could be free to just be a fucking paedophile, take the piss out of Muslims online, all that stuff, but then you can't speak your truth in a tweet. I don't get it.
100%.
DJ Empress says 14 ? And again, that says, if you listen back to some old grime songs, you would hear other MCs going at Wiley and talking about it as well, like referencing him dating underage girls. I think he had a clash with Dirty Goods, and again, it was mentioned about him dating underage girls. I've got a question to you all. Did Wiley prove his point, or prove the point that he was trying to make by him being removed so quickly?
Of course, because we've cancelled Wiley for saying what he said, for having his opinion on a topic, and then he tweeted it. We haven't cancelled what would he be called? The writer? I don't know. The reporter who posted up the wrong picture, like a picture of a completely different black man. He's not cancelled. He just came out and, I'm sure he done some apology thing, like, I know who Wiley is, and and it must have got me. So why couldn't Wiley just come out and apologise? Whether he meant it or not, why couldn't he just come out and just apologise and go, sorry for the tweets, but, it is what it is. No, he has to be cancelled, and his accounts need to be shut down, and he can't have a platform to speak on anymore. Huh? How? It doesn't make sense. Bearing in mind, we've just gone, like we spoke earlier, we've just gone through these protests of for black people and our lives, and mattering, and it's like some next white guy can post the wrong picture, but it's alright. Everyone just laughs about it, like it wasn't Wiley. How does that work?
Yeah, it's true. And this is where the supremacy comes into it again as well, because, you know, you can't say anything about Jewish people, but you can say a lot about Muslim people. You can say a lot about Black people, and nothing really happens to you. But say something about Jewish people, 12 feds at your door. Like, it's just mad. Crazy.
So on that, I'm going to read one of the messages. Kaiser Soze says, hopefully someone hires a massive field and books Wiley, and Wiley makes 10 times the money he would have made with those scumbags. It's mad how they're using Wiley to cover up Tim Westwood's crimes. Something we discussed a few weeks ago about Tim Westwood apparently dating minors or young girls, especially young Black girls. DJ Empress wants to know, how did he get an MBE if he was with a minor? Good question. As Cher said, again, depends on who you're talking about, innit? If
The
you're
royal
talking
family,
about,
innit?
well, there you go. You got Prince Andrew, innit? He's, you know, we won't even get into that one. Yeah, we won't even go there.
All different combo.
Mate, and I think Cher was saying in terms of, I just watched that thought actually. Cher was saying in regards to who you're talking about, innit? Again, if Wiley was talking about Black people, would anything have happened? If he was talking about Muslim people, would anything have happened? He was talking about Jewish people. Within 2 days, it's taken off social media. Now, apparently, they're trying to say it's because in one of his tweets, while he put Jewish people should hold corn, yeah, and he put then an emoji of like corn on the cob or like corn, and they're saying that it was him trying to say that Jewish people should be shot.
That means get shot, innit?
It's subjective.
It doesn't mean this. It doesn't mean
It's subjective.
Corn, yeah? If I say, "Right, you lot about to hold corn right now," what does that mean? Does that mean I'm gonna shoot you lot? Or does that mean I'm gonna fire you lot? I'm gonna go in on you lot right now. You lot are gonna hold corn. Hold corn doesn't mean to shoot at someone. It just means that they deserve to get it. Just the get doesn't mean anything in particular. You get me? Like the same way he's holding corn right now. The Jewish community is making Wiley hold corn for sure. You get it? Like,
and that's the thing.
Man, I've been talking about man holding corn for time. They still put the tune out on the radio. Man, what to talk about? Man tweeted Jewish people should hold corn, and you took man's whole Twitter down. Man. That doesn't make sense. That's not enough, bro.
Again, 12 police officers at your door. And again, it's so subjective. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. It can mean anything you want it to mean. But if you're going to then try and re-quote someone and say, he said they should be shot. No, he didn't say they should be shot. He said they should hold corn. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to try to... You can't quote someone and then change what they said to suit your narrative.
Yeah, it's not fair, man.
Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. Chids, what are you saying?
You can if you're white, you're in power.
But you know what they've done? You know what they've done though? Was sick, yeah. They said it's not about us being. We're not like they separate themselves from being white in this situation. Do you get what? Do you see what they've done? They're like, see, even white people can be anti-Semitic. So you get it? Because they're saying that we're Jews, like we're not even the same as other white people. This is how they sicked it. This is why they like they're masterminded. Because they're saying, look, it's not even about race with us, yeah. Because white people can hate us too. In fact, white people do hate us too. Do you get me? Look, see that the history proves that white people hate us as much as they hate Black people. So they're double, triple victim themselves, but yet they control everything. You know, like that. Imagine being able to control the narrative, yeah, to the point where you're the victim 3 times over, and you control everything. Ooh, that's sick, fam. Like they're sick with it, and all while imitating another culture or race of people the whole time. That's special to do that, fam. You get me? You must have come from the future or something, bro. Boy. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they must have come from the future or something. They must have seen the future or something for them to be able to flip it like that, like imitate a whole race of people, take their culture, make it a religion, yeah, then separate yourself from other white people, then, you get me, be the victim of white people, the victim of oppression, the victim of Black people hating you, and now you control all the media, you control all the narratives, and you can play the victim while controlling everybody. Wow, that's mastermind.
That's deep. And then you put up the wrong pictures twice of Wiley as well.
They didn't do
First
that. They didn't do
Kano,
that.
and then first some other guy. I don't even know who it was.
Smoking weed with a hat on and that. But
actually,
the thing is, it's not active.
They do it on purpose.
Let me read some messages. Rosie Posey says they purposefully misinterpreted, talking about holding corn. DJ Empress says, in my days, corn meant money. Clearly, DJ Empress is showing their age on that one. Rosie Posey said, like travelers. I think talking about what Ash was saying. Rosie Posey says, money controls the narrative. Now, actually, on that thing that you guys have just said about the wrong picture, right? That's actually the third time that it's happened. So the first time was about a couple of years ago when Wiley did a concert and they had a picture, it was in the Evening Standard, of a random black guy with a spliff. Just some random black guy. Just random black guy. And yes, during this week, they were trying to talk about racism. So remember, the narrative is racism. And what did they do? The first picture was a picture of Kano. And that was for The Guardian. So Oliver Jones, who wrote the article, he says he didn't see it. He goes, he went to press and then he woke up and he apologized for it. But here's the thing. He's trying to stand up for racism. Then they do a racist thing, but what's he going to do to his company? He's not doing anything, is he? He's not going to snap to Guardian and say, what did you do? I'm walking out. No, he's not doing anything. That's where his bread and butter's made. And then they did it again. The following day, Sky News did it. I said a random guy. The guy's a rapper. He's got like 1.3 million Instagram followers. But I don't know who he is. But again, just found a black guy with a spliff in his hand. What? First of all, why does he have a spliff? Why? Why are you going to paint that narrative? And secondly, are you trying to tell me that someone is trending? You can't go into Google, type in a five-letter word and type in Wiley and get a right picture of the person. The man's got an MBE. You're trying to tell me you didn't know who he was. You found Kano. You found an ex-random black guy.
It's irony. It's irony. You don't get it. Because it doesn't matter what you think, because you're just a consumer. But me and my brethren are going to laugh about this for about 2, 3 weeks. Like, we're going to be laughing about this. So it doesn't matter. You get me? We control this, bro. It's like us putting something in the WhatsApp group. We can write what we want in the WhatsApp group. If someone sees it, oh well, it's our WhatsApp group, bro. You get me? Like, you shouldn't even have saw it anyway. They're like, we don't care what we say in there. That's the same way they don't care what they print because they're all brethren anyway. Like, they're like, brother, who's gonna tell me off, bro? Wiley? You get it? Like, they don't care, bro. It's not a mistake. They do it on purpose. They do it just for kicks, bro. You get me? They do worse things for kicks, bro.
And you know what I mean? Even worse to me, right? So after all of that, they apologized to Kano for putting the wrong picture. But
no,
did they apologize
to Kano for dragging him into it? And like, Kano, I know you didn't even need to really bring you into it. You could have just put another random black person. You didn't have to do you. You get me? That's why they apologized.
Didn't even apologize to Wiley. Like, how are you going to take a picture of me, put someone else, and not even apologize to me for doing so, for misrepresenting me yet again?
They wanted to offend him. They wanted him to feel how it feels. Yeah? We'll say your name and put Kano's picture in there just to take a piss.
Kano. Can I just put that up there? Absolutely.
Yeah, I love Kano.
Kano's my husband. He was not pleased. He told me, hey girl. Okay.
I thought you said Kano.
I did. He's right here.
Yeah, I thought you said that as well.
He's in my
that nigga really dead.
He's getting a drink.
Yeah, man.
So I feel like we're all in agreement that Wiley's not cancelled, yeah?
No.
Not this week, nah.
No, not this week.
Yeah. So I'm cool with that because I like him. No comment. Okay, I get where she's coming from in terms of the dating people that are not his age. We can never condone that. It's never going to be. You can never ever condone it. I don't know if it was ever true. I don't know if it was ever confirmed. Again, it was a rumor that I heard for many years. And I said I heard he was beaten to an inch of his life because of it. I suppose since then people have moved on in some sense because it's never really brought up as much anymore as it was done. I said 10, 15 years ago when it was still quite fresh.
Exactly. Why?
I don't know. Maybe because even he says he denies it. He's always denied it. He said if you ask him, it never happened. So he always denied it. I think even I saw an interview recently, about a couple of weeks ago, and he was denying it then as well. So I don't know. I can't comment. I don't know anyone and to say if it's true or not true. But this is what was reported at the time and has been since. But so I think that's 5 of us are not cancelling him, and I think Cher is like nope, he's cancelled.
I've never been a fan of Wiley, to be honest. So he's just another person to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm with you on that. So I think this will be a good time to then go on to our final topic, which is spirituality, religion and spirituality, which I know our very own First Lady Chili Bang Bang is gonna kick us off with. And what? Look at Chili's face. She's like, "What, me? No." She's like, "Leave me alone. I'm tired. It's a long day. It's Friday." What you did? I'm gonna reset the live, right? Because those of you on Instagram Live, it's been almost 1 hour. Is it cut out before? So I'm gonna reset the Instagram Live. So give me 1 minute. So if you're on the live, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna restart the live again. Give me 1 minute.
What is that noise?
It's my table.
Oh.
Chiz, you okay?
Yeah, I'm tired, bro.
You said the sun was too much for you today.
Well, I didn't even see it.
Oh wow.
Really?
It was nice today.
I was in it for I nearly died out there at work doing people's cars in direct sunlight for 6 hours. Literally, I had to sit on the floor and just, my hands was like this. I was shaking. It was nice.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
As long as you're okay, we only got half an hour left to go, Chiz. Half an hour left to go.
Cutting down seconds, man.
It feels like it's been 10 hours today.
Do you think? I think this has gone so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what, 11. Yeah.
I think it's gone
I don't
quick.
know,
I
it's
feel
been
like
a
the
long day.
conversation just flowed as well. Dick, are you talking?
Definitely.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I
Oh,
was. I'll say
completely.
we're back streaming. We are back live. That's what I was trying to say, but I didn't realize my mic was muted.
I don't know if I should eat the sweet now.
Yeah, there you go. Go on, Chids. Kick us off, man. Tell us about religion and spirituality.
Religion and spirituality. So, I think it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's a deep topic to put them two together. So religion, people have got their views on religion, people have got their views on spirituality. But the one thing that they have in common is that everybody needs something to believe in it. So people will either adopt a certain religion, or a lot of people now especially are learning, sort of leaning in towards spirituality. And then a lot of people will argue and have conflicts over their differences, but when realistically the end result is the same with all of them. It's about peace. But then you've got the Muslim religion, and people look at it in a negative way because of the way society portrays it. And then you've got, in regards to spirituality, it's just like, people will say it's witchcraft, or they will say it's, black magic and it's all bad things. Then you've got your Christians, and people will say they're wrong. Everyone looks into religion and spirituality and finds the negatives instead of actually just looking at them as a whole and seeing that they are all about peace. I've my personal experience with religion and spirituality, I believe they're one of the same, innit? And we just call them different things. The attributes are the same, the belief is the same, but they've all been separated because, as what I said before, I used to have a lot of heated discussions with my grandmother, rest in peace now, and we used to argue like for hours. It was mad. She used to tell me like, what you believe in, it's the devil's work, it's the devil's working on you, and blah blah blah, and you have to read your Bible, and you have to believe in God, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. And the one thing I used to say to her is, but Nan, do you know with spirituality, spirituality doesn't tell me that I have to do anything. It doesn't tell me, it doesn't dictate to me. It doesn't knock me for who I am and the other things that I do outside of my spirituality, because it's not outside, it's included. Because spirituality for me is about who you are and everything that comes with it. It's a whole package. I find with Christianity, and this is nothing against any Christians or anything, but I just find with Christianity, it is rammed down your throat. You're told you have to believe in this, and the Bible says, and this says, and how do we actually know what the Bible is saying is true? How do we know if anything is true? Do you know what I mean? How do we even know that we're actually here? How do we know it's just not a figment of our imagination? But we could go on and question these things. What I think it boils down to is that the end result is peace. It is about getting to know yourself and learning about yourself. And I just find with religion takes that away. If you don't submit, it's almost like idol worshipping. If you don't submit and idolize the religion, then you're wrong. I've known, like, I got a friend, she was going through a bad time in her life, and she turned to the church, and as much as it was beautiful in the beginning, she found some really dark truths, and she just felt that she couldn't be herself. And when she gave her testimony, and she was just like speaking of the things that she'd done or the things that she believes in, she was shunned upon. Do you get me? They looked at her in disgust, and they sort of cast her out of the church and just dashed her out on the road. Do you get me? But to me, if Christianity is about forgiveness, and it's about love, and it's about peace and all those things, why are you judging people? There's a lot of judgment in religion, whereas with spirituality, for me, it's more about being a free spirit. It's more about being who you are, recognizing who you are, recognizing the present, and then gravitating towards your higher self. And it doesn't matter what you've done before, what you're doing now, or how you get there, but the end result is supposed to be beautiful, isn't it? And I just feel that there's no judgment in spirituality. I feel that you're free to be exactly who you are in that given moment. And my nan, can I just say, when she was on her deathbed, we had a long chat, and she took my hand and she held my hand and she said to me, don't stop believing in what you believe in, because like I put you down many times in conversations, but she told me that was because of the way she was brought up and things were forced upon her. So she was told to believe in those things. And she said, like, when you actually look at spirituality as a whole, it's everything. It's religion. It's just everything. So yeah, she told me to just keep believing in what I believe in.
She's gonna say, I absolutely fucking love that. Yeah. If to those of you who don't know, right, on Instagram it's breathe it all in, love it all out. So if you're not following that page on Insta, make sure you do, okay? Where is it, Chids? Breathe it all in,
love it all out.
Excellent. Shay, over to you. What's your views on it? I know you're a very spiritual person. What's your views on this?
So, funnily enough with me, like, when I was younger, I was baptized, I was christened, I had my Holy Communion, I went to Catholic schools, the whole lot. But, you know, obviously in the end, my end goal wasn't to go down that route. Like, no disrespect or anything, but I don't know. I just found that it was a very judgmental religion. Not all of it, but you know, I found myself when I went to a lot of churches and stuff, they'd be very judgmental towards you, you know, and it shouldn't be like that. If you're truly connected to God or whatever you believe in, you know, there shouldn't be any judgment when it comes to that. And I agree with Chidi when it comes to like spirituality. You're free to express yourself. You're free to be yourself rather than, you know, feeling a type of way when you go into a church or you're around people who are Christian or whatever. And yeah, I just feel like spirituality is something which, you know, you grow to really love, and you just feel like you can be yourself. You don't have to fit into a box or fit into anyone's category. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, big up the people who, you know, believe in something higher. You know, no disrespect to any Christians or Muslims or whatever, but I just feel that your path should be your path. It shouldn't be defined by anybody else. It shouldn't be, I want you to be this, so you're going to be that. Like, you should just go down the route that your soul tells you to, rather than following something where you're going to be judged, or, you know, where people are not really, you know, some people are actually following religions, but they're not really looking into the history behind it. They're not really digging deep within themselves and, you know, digging deep in their soul and discovering what they're about themselves. They're more out to look a certain way to other people. And I just feel like if you're going to believe in God or, you know, be spiritual, just do it with a real purpose rather than a fake one, because that's really damaging. But yeah.
Definitely a lot of stuff in there as well, boy. Blimey, this one is a deep topic, isn't it? Mr. TruuuTalk himself, Mr. Ashley, what's your views on this?
So I've got a few different ways of looking at it. Yeah, I think that if we're looking at religion, I think religion is just like a group of stories that discuss people that have had spiritual journeys or spiritual awakenings or been through spiritual situations, isn't it? And the Bible or the Quran or whatever religious book you read just tells the stories of those people. Yeah, but I feel like what religion has done is taken away the personal element of spirituality. You get me? I feel like spirituality gives you that ability to go on that journey as well. You know, like to go on the same journey that these people went on, rather than just following their way of life. Because if you're following someone's way of life, that means you're always going to wait for someone to tell you you're doing it right or wrong. You get me? And that's the difference between spirituality. There's no one to tell you you're right or wrong. You get me? It's just you learning from your mistakes and understanding what life is teaching you. You get me? Or what the universe is teaching you, or what lessons you have to gain from the situation. You get me? So spirituality allows you to look at things more central, where religion is based on like a community. It's based on how other people see you. It's based on your hierarchy within it. It's based on your title within it. Like, because I used to go to church when I was little, and it was become like a kingdom. The same way a kingdom works, that's how the church works. It works like, so the pastor's at the top, and then his wife, and then all their kids, and then the oldest son's wife and his kids, then the second son's wife and his kids, and you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. And then that's the importance of the people that's in the church. You know what I'm saying? So if your family's married to one of the sons, then your family's kind of important in the church. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're not, then you're just one of the congregation. You know what I mean? And that there's nothing really spiritual about that. Although I was I was talking to you about it. Whether to go check my nan, she had me watching the church service. I didn't tell you, but the person I was actually doing the church service was my auntie. my auntie was doing the church service at first. She was the person that's why I was watching it, innit? Because it was her talking. And then her husband did the rest of it, innit? But even some of the things that they were discussing, or some of the topics that they were talking about, reminded me of some of the things that we discussed, you get me? But obviously he just made it relate to Jesus, or made it relate to whatever the topic was. But it's still the same, like you said, it's still the same message. Like the end result is still the same. They're just trying to tell you what spirituality shows you. Do you get me? Religion's trying to tell you what spirituality can show you. Do you get me? But it's just been manufactured. Do you get what I'm saying? So religion is like a manufactured form of spirituality, because spirituality is like nature. It comes from within, innit? You can't control it. You get me? You just become one with it. Do you get what I'm saying? Where religion is like a manufactured way to give that information. You get me? But a lot of people are not going to be receptive to it like that, because it's based on other people agreeing that you're at that stage, or other people saying, yeah, I believe that he's strong in Jesus, or I believe that he's strong in his deen, or I believe, you know what I'm saying? It's based on other people affirming that you've reached a level where they can respect you now. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. And I feel like if you're living in order for other people to say, yeah, you're doing well, or no, you're not doing well, then you're never really going to fulfill you're never going to feel fulfilled, because it's always going to be based on other people telling you that you're correct, or that you're wrong. You get me? Because even like when you are religious, yeah, they argue between themselves. So that means no one even knows who's right. Do you get what I'm saying? It just depends on whose opinion you respect more. Do you get what I'm saying? Because my nan, the week before, when I went to check her, she was on the phone with a Jehovah's Witness pastor, arguing about the Holy Trinity. Do you get what I'm saying? like are both Christians, but we're here talking about Holy Trinity. I just got involved because obviously, man, we're this, and this is our Holy Trinity to man. So for me, I was like, let me just get involved in the conversation, because even there, it's linked. You lot are talking about Holy Trinity. This is the original Holy Trinity, and that's where the concept came from. You get what I'm saying? So it's linked, but I just feel like religion is manufactured. You get me? It's man-made, and man control it, and man can tell you if you're doing it correct or doing it wrong. And that's the difference. Spirituality is made by the soul, and no one can tell you if you're doing it wrong or doing it right. It just is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Definitely a lot of stuff in there. You know, spirituality is from the soul. Milan, what's your opinion on this one?
I feel like, me personally, I feel that religion, it makes people feel comforting, not comforting like that. I can't explain it. It's like people believe in it so much, because they're scared of something. But what are you scared of? Because there are the same people out there that don't believe in nothing, and we're all still alive. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't believe in anything in particular. Like years ago when I was in school, like in high school, I used to go to church, but it was more like a youth club. Like everyone just like used to go. The praise and worship was on point. After that, the pastor used to talk, and don't even ask what he was talking about, because I don't know. It just used to bore me. Or he used to just talk about like what I thought church was. Like, you know, you'd be reading scriptures from the Bible, and then, you know, going in depth into them and explaining them. He was just talking about his life and his kids and his wife and coming from this country and did it. And I'm like, what? I don't want to know about that. Do you know what I mean? So I think church wasn't for me. And like I said, it was just a youth club. And then it's like, I was baptized. I don't know, it's probably like 17, 18 or something. And then it was like, I don't know, I think my baptism went wrong, because when I then went back to church, I was thinking, this is not where I need to be. This is not for me. Like, sorry, I've realised this now. And then I left, and well, the church I went to is not even about no more, but let's not get into that. But, you know, I feel like I'm more a universe person. I believe that, you know, the universe is listening to you, the universe talks to you. If you ask the universe for something like passionate and deep in your heart, it will happen and it will come true. So that's what I mean, like where religion makes people scared not to say that they're a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu, or do you know what I mean? But what are you scared of? You're still going to be alive. You know, there are people still dying who believe in a higher being, and there are people still dying who don't believe in anything. So, like, it's okay not to believe in something. You don't have to. You shouldn't ever be like forced into believing in like something, because if you don't, that's okay. Do you know what I mean? And I agree with like what like all the others are saying. They both want the same thing. Both of them want peace and harmony. So why not? Because there are some people that will say, like, God, Jesus, like Allah, they're all the same God, just named under different names for a different like, religion. And then the people are like, no. There is God, and then there is Allah, and it's like, how are there so many different gods in one? Do you know what I mean? It's a very in-depth and sticky topic to get into, but I definitely agree with the rest that they all want the same goals, and yeah, just believe in what you want to believe in, and don't feel like forced or pressured into believing something because your like mum does, or your nan does, or your cousin's auntie's sister's brother went to some church and you now have to go as well. You don't have to.
So I want to.
Sorry,
go on. No, you go, Chid. Ladies first.
No, I just wanted to add that, you know, throughout like my spiritual journey from very young to the present day, I've just found like the most people that I've been judged by and had like mad discussions with, Christian or Catholic, and that. Do you get me? They're the ones that they've been the most ignorant. Whereas, you know, I've got Muslim friends, and Muslims, can I just say, like, from my experience with Muslims, it's been so beautiful because they just embrace you and they accept you, and you're totally. Do you get me? Like, I'm a person who I'm the total opposite of everything they're about, and they will still love me and embrace me, and we can still discuss certain things, and they see it, like, because we're both saying the same thing. They're just saying it in one way and I'm saying it in another, but they can see the similarities, and they will, even if I have discussions with them, they will still say, you call it the universe, I call it Allah, but it's one of the same. And Buddhists, I spend a lot of time at the Buddhist center. I ain't a Buddhist, you get me? But they don't judge me for that. They're just like, yes, come in, be free in your spirituality. I just find churches, it's like idol worshipping almost. It's like you have to go to a church to worship this name. But why can't I just do that in my house then? Like, what's the problem? Why can't I go and sit in a field and do that? What's the problem? And there's always a problem with it. It's like, you know, I'm sat meditating in a field, like, it's not worshipping something, but it's submitting to a higher being. But I'm wrong for that, because I should be sat in a church, really, shouldn't I? Listening to what the pastor said and saying amen every time he says something good. It's like, nah, it's an ego thing. I feel like there's a lot of ego in church, so it's just not for me. And then I was baptized though for my nan. I did it for my nan still. It's mad.
There's a lot in there, and I like your views on that one. I was going to say, in terms of Milan, right? I don't know if you guys realize that she said that she got baptized, and that was around the age of 17. She went, and then she left, and went back. If you realize that 17, that's usually when you start in nightclubs, isn't it? So she said, forget church, I'm going raving. Yeah, I'm going raving. So I ain't going back to church on Sunday. No, Saturday night, I'm going whatever rave there is that's happening, that's playing Bashment, that's playing Cartel with Movado and all them things. Shit, I'm not asking you a personal question if I may.
Whoa. How would we just brush it under the carpet? When did I say that, sorry?
You said it about 5 minutes ago.
This is like the Wiley situation now. He said hold corner and you're taking that as in street people. Huh? I just said church wasn't for me.
And was nightclubs for you? Was nightclubs for you? Was night?
No, not really.
Lies. It's lies, I tell you. I've seen your videos on Instagram. I've seen it. No. I saw your
I
throwback
was more
Thursday.
of a house party girl.
That was it. Same thing. Sure, I'm going to ask you a personal question. And I'm not my normal perverse questions. more of an actual normal one. I'll leave the perverse ones till later. I want to know, you said about, about, growing up being Catholic and changing your views as you got a bit older. With that said, if you say in a year's time you have a child or children, would you bring up being Catholic as well? As that's how you started your earlier years?
No.
That was
they
quite
can be what they want to be. But the thing is, I believe in God as well, and I'm spiritual, but I don't know. I just don't believe in all that going to church and worshiping and white Jesus. It's just not me. It's just not me. But, it's for some people, it's not for some people. But when I have a child, I'll bring them up to believe in God, to be spiritual. And then as they get older, they can be how they want to be, as long as it's good. But yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, that's what I'd ask the questions. Just based on what you're saying about, starting your earlier years being Catholic and stuff like that. So I was just a bit curious. I mean, that was all. Ash, what are you saying? Very quiet over there.
I'm not quiet. I'm muted.
And the same thing?
Nah, sir. I want to unmute. Can't quiet again. Well, obviously I got you, and I don't make a thing like. To be honest, yeah, I didn't even want to say this, yeah, but I'm just gonna say it. I've never met like a pastor or a vicar or anyone like that I would want to follow, and I would want to, like, you get me, trust in and be led by. Never met one that I would say, yeah, you're gonna lead me. Haven't. So for me, it just wouldn't work. You get me? It wouldn't work. For the sheer fact that these men are just normal men. You get me? In fact, they're probably worse than normal men because they're men with power. You know what I'm saying? And they're men with influence. You get what I'm saying? I know that a lot of time when men have power and influence, they don't always use it for the greater good. They use it for their own gain, innit? And whether they're a pastor, preacher, or whatever, I've seen it, I see it, I know it exists. You get what I'm saying? And if there's one that I think is super righteous, it's one that points out the devil every time he sees him, then yeah, maybe I'll believe in it a bit more. So no, I don't. That's for me. I wouldn't lead my child or go to bring my child to a man for him to come and put some water on her head and bless her when you're not even blessed yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's any guy who does any sins on a weekday and do some fuckery in the dark, and then you want to come and put some oil on my daughter's head talking about you're blessed by God. I'm not gonna do it still. I can't see it. Shit, I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? You get me?
No, I see my personal views, but I'm not overly religious. I mean, I do think the fundamentals of religion are exactly the same. So whatever religion you pick, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, the fundamental things are pretty much the same, innit? No one's teaching anything that's incorrect or bad things or negative things, but it's very down to interpretation, how you read the Bible or how you read the Quran or how you read something, innit? And then how you then deliver it to somebody else. And it can be abused, which is probably the scary part. Because if you've ever gone to like a church...
Historically, it's been abused. People use religion to mash up people.
Exactly.
Take over places and force people to change their culture and their way of thinking and their way of life. You get me? It's not like a religion.
Exactly. Even as Cher said, a white Jesus. Well, if that's where he came from, I don't think he would look like that. Do you know what I mean? As the depiction that we have.
Exactly, but then that's
the original one didn't look like that though.
Yeah, exactly, but that's the whole point of the whole Jew situation. This is the point. Like, this is the exact same thing. This is the Jesus situation from whatever century that was in 2020. You get me? We're still seeing people trying to identify as Jews, and they don't look like the original Jesus. You're only going to be a Jew if you look like the original Jesus. So this is the whole point. This is why Jesus is white in the eyes of everybody, because people who identify as the children of Israel are white. Do you know what I'm saying? So the only way we're going to be able to be open about the whole white Jesus thing is if we get all the way through that and say, okay, so if Jesus was black, that means that you guys are lying about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Because the face of Israel is all white. You know what I'm saying? So already that, you get me? The whole thing is questionable. And that's the point. This is why people are getting shut down, because they can't have those kind of conversations. Because if we're talking about religion, the reason why spirituality is better for man is because all the brothers that they're talking about are the same as man, and they were able to tap into their spirituality and do miracles. So that means I'm going to tap into my thing and do my miracles. You feel me? Like, it's the same thing, but people are not going to see it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because of how this thing has been set up. It's been set up for us to not see who we are, not see the true power, and feel like we have to rely on other people to be great. You get me? That's for the trick, man.
I think this is a very deep topic, man. It's so many different ways to look at it, and again, so many different religions, as we mentioned, and we've already mentioned a few. Do you know what I mean? You got so many others. It's a tough one. It's such a tough one. I don't know if there's a real right answer or wrong answer. Maybe just as Chidi was saying earlier, just follow your spirit, as Chidi's late Nan said when she was on her deathbed about, follow your path. Sorry if I misquoted your Nan there, but following your path and doing what you feel is right for you, that not necessarily fulfill the path that was chosen for her, because that was what older generations were told in it. So our grandparents, their generation was, you go into church. You're going to church on Sunday. You're going to church on Thursday. You're probably going to church on Saturday for Saturday school, and then Sunday school, and whatever other days you were Bible reading on whatever day they do Bible readings on. So it's great. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Another thing which is good about spirituality that is kind of long about religion. Spirituality doesn't, like time, the concept of time doesn't exist there. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how long things take or how quick things happen or when this happened or this person done this in this time or none of that shit matters. You get me? Where religion, everything is based on a timeline and based on families and based on like bloodlines and all of that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just long. And sometimes a lot of the things in religion don't even match up with history. So it's just like, can't be real, innit? Like everything in there can't be real if the history timeline and the religion timeline doesn't match. Because one of them is fact, one of them is fiction, isn't it?
It's very true. It's like, if you didn't meditate on a Wednesday, the universe ain't going to punish you on a Sunday because, like Sister Ruth is going to cuss you on a Sunday and say you didn't come Bible studies on a Wednesday. It's about control. It's another form of power, and a lot of people abuse it because of ego, because in their normal lives they are not in touch with themselves, and they use religion as an ego trip, innit, to just overpower other people and dictate to them and tell them who to be, how to act. And whereas spirituality, if you're a man, you can embrace yourself as a man. If you're a woman, you embrace yourself as a woman. If you're trans, you embrace yourself as trans. You can be whoever the fuck you like, and the universe ain't gonna judge you for it. It's still gonna love you. It's still gonna bless you. You get me?
But that's what religion says that Jesus will do and God will do. But it's just people. People.
Man,
you get me? The people that control it are gonna tell you, if you look like this or you do this, you're not allowed to come to church. You're not allowed to be part of our church. Which is not even for them to say. If that's the case, if God runs the church, and who put you in charge? Dan knows going to come down and tell you to come and run this thing. You get me? Who's there? They're guaranteed didn't come and speak to you directly, and Angel Gabriel didn't show up in your dreams and tell you to come and open up this church. You get me? But your financial advisor probably did.
I think something that Chidi might have mentioned in terms of control. I'm not sure if for those of you remember the film that stars Denzel Washington called The Book of Eli. And I think in the film, the guy that he's trying to steal the book, I think, which is Gary Oldman's character, that was his thing, right? His thing was to get the Bible for control. Again, back to what Chidi was saying, it was all about controlling it. If people couldn't read and write and understand it, he could then interpret it in his own way and then control people because of what they believe in it.
And this is what I believe the Bible is. Look how many versions there are of the Bible. Look how many different. Do you know what I mean? There's like what is actually true. It might say one thing and then it says something in the New Testament and something in the Old Testament and then something in Exodus and then something in Revelation. It's just a contradiction of each book. It's mad. If you read the Bible, you can read it front to back, middle to back, through and through, upside down. None of it don't make sense anyway. So it's just, if it was just a book explaining, that giving stories or the visions of these people who, like, I like the concept of certain stories in the Bible where they speak about people having vision and people like empowering the people. And then it's when it comes to this whole leading thing and power and, God embraced this man because he chose him. If there's a higher entity in it, there's always something greater than us, but that something greater than us is actually us, innit? So, like, when I asked my daughter, when she was asked in school, like, they were talking about religion and stuff, and they said to her, like, do you believe in God? She said, well, I am God, really, and because if he made me, then I am him. So we should, if we're going to worship anyone, we should worship ourselves. Do you get me? Not on an ego thing, but more on a soul level. We should worship ourselves because we are a higher entity, and the end result is that we come face to face with our higher selves. So I just don't.
But you can only understand that in the spirit, in a spirituality kind of setting. In a religious setting, no matter how you say it, if you look at it in a religious way, it's blasphemy. You understand?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to think that deep, but then people will say Jesus is God. Huh? So I can say with the chest, Jesus is God, but then you get what I'm saying? People don't get it. I'm sure in the time when Moses was splitting the Red Sea, people thought Moses was a god. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like when King Solomon was I can't remember what King Solomon done there. That was Samson. When Samson was the strongest man in the world, I'm sure people were saying, "Right, he's got strength of a god." You get me? When David slapped over Goliath, they were saying, "Oh, that is a king. He's a god. He's got the power of a god." Anyone who done great things at them times, people were saying that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they got God energy, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same concept, but the religion is saying that only a certain kind of people can do that. Where spirituality is saying everyone can tap into it. You know what I'm saying? It's not exclusive to. You don't have to believe this in order to tap into it. You were born with that. You were born with the right to be and have everything. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's about understanding that, and it's about not even believing it, because believing it still leaves doubt. It's about knowing that. You know what I'm saying? Once you know that you are as great as anything else that's come on this earth, you can be as great as it, and you can be as shit as it. It's up to you. Do you know what I mean? But religion doesn't give you that option, because there's always someone higher than you. There's always someone there to tell you no, or to tell you try again next time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I was going to say? In fact, Chidi, more power to your daughter. Imagine that a child saying that to their teachers and being so right as well, that I'm going to worship them, I'll worship myself. More power to them.
She's an old soul, definitely an old soul. I just believe that she's got. I learn a lot from her, do you get me? And sometimes I'm like, right, how do you know these things? But she said, it's just logic, man. Like, if they say a higher entity has made us, surely we are the higher entity. So I think that's why she carries herself a certain way. Because even me, like, as a parent, I used to say to her, it's so rude enough. But when I had to apologize for the other day and said to her, you know what, you're not rude. You just believe in yourself, and you believe in what you're saying, and you believe in your own power. And, like, you get me? That's actually a good thing, and you should embrace that. We should always find to our higher power, because it is there. It's not, a lot of people are going to say, who the fuck do you think you are? It's like, but I'm me, innit? Like, I'm important. surely I'm important because I'm here. Anybody who exists on this planet is important because they're here. They all serve a purpose. It just depends on how they tap into that power in it, really. And then we kind of just, we decide, it's all a choice. We decide who we're going to become and what we're going to follow and how we're going to follow it through. So, yeah, man, everyone should just believe in themselves, really.
Definitely. And you know what I was going to say as well? You know, you're talking about the different books. So you said there's different books, New Testament, Old Testament. You read them all, it will contradict itself. Something I had someone say the other day, right? So remember, the books are written. Yeah? And someone said, stories in history are written by the oppressor, not the oppressed. So I'll leave you that thought, yeah? Stories in history are always written by the oppressor, never the oppressed. Yeah, Milan, what are you thinking? I see you very quiet over there.
Sort of pick up on something that Chidi said. So you know, she was saying, you know, if she's like meditating in a field and stuff, it's like religion will always say, you know, God is everywhere. God can see you. God can hear you. God is with you. But you must come to church on Sunday, or you know, you have to go to the mosque on this day, or do you know? And it's like, but you just said he's everywhere. So why can't I kneel at the end of my bed and say a prayer before I go to sleep? Or when I wake up in the morning and I'm brushing my teeth and I'm saying it in my head, like, why is that? Why can't that just be okay? Why do I have to come to church and hear you just chat for hours and hours and take up my whole day when I can do that by myself? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really make any sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. Religion's a weird one. It really is. And it's just like, if, like, you know, they say, like, you know, that there's a heaven and there's a hell. When you die, you're going to go here. But how do you know? Because have you been to heaven and then come back? Like, you've been to hell and come back, yeah? So you can tell me facts that there is this other place. Or, you know, when you read the Bible, you believe in these stories so much. But how do you know? Do you know what I mean? Like, they were, these stories were like written over 2,000 years ago. Why do you believe it? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that they're wrong, but it's just a question I always ask people. And like me and my friends will have this discussion a lot. I'm like, why do you believe that? Why do you believe that book? And they're like, oh, you know, well, I go to church, and when I read this story, it makes sense. No, it doesn't, because it's like Chidi said, you read a few stories back, and you've just contradicted what you've just read. But why do you believe that that is true, and believe that that is real, and believe that that has happened? Then you stumble, and you can't explain to me why, and then just, I just want to cause an argument. No, I just want to have a discussion. I'm just asking you why you believe in that so like much. Why can't you just like live your life like day to today, do whatever it is you're doing, and just be happy in that? Why not? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely. Again, as I said at the beginning, this topic this one is a difficult one, man. This is just so many ways to look at it. Again, as Shirley was saying, religion versus spirituality, as it were. There's so much in it. But guys, it's been 2 hours. It has been 2 hours. Do you guys wish to continue?
I'm tired.
What about you, Cher? I mean, I know you haven't offered us no chicken wings. You had the chicken wings in it and offer us, and you just kind of just ate it, and then you're tired.
I've been tired.
Oh, you've been tired. Is that why you give me that the side eye and all that? Okay, I'm cool with that. As long as that's the reason why, I'm cool with that. Ash, we were just saying about it's been 2 hours, and Chid and Cher both saying they're tired. Although, right, I must say, Cher did message me privately and said, you know, anyway, I won't even go there. I won't go there. I won't go there.
You need to stop lying. Not good for your soul.
No, it is good for my soul, to be fair. It really is.
What, lying? Mm-mm.
Hell yeah.
This is
Careful, man.
You
might get cancelled, Sticks.
No, she's of age though. She's of age. I checked the Instagram profile. I made sure she's of age. I checked the Throwback Thursday pictures. They were in college or uni, wherever it was.
I'm
of
12.
age.
I'm 12 years old.
Are you dyslexic?
Damn, boy. You going there.
I'm 12.
Hey.
Are you dyslexic? Are you really 21?
No, I'm 12.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. On that note, it's going down in the DM. Anyway, guys, we say next week, same time, same place.
Same time, same place, man.
I'm there.
Yeah. What's next week's topic? Actually, let me stop the recording. Sorry. Chid, do you want to take a screenshot before I stop the recording?
Yes.
Ain't got a
Can't get everyone in, no.
I don't know if...
I'm trying to do the one eyebrow raise, but it's not working.
I'm gonna have to take a couple because you're all on different screens. Hold on. And then hold on, Ashley. Oh fucking hell! Look at that grin. Hang on. Can't take that.
Are we done?
You know when you take a picture at school, yeah, and you're like.
Did you see the picture? Did my mum show you? Because my mum would do some shit like that. You know that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures, Ashley.
You know what I'm saying?